Welcome back. The South African Church Defenders has once again come out to criticize the Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Rights Commission and its establishment of the Section 22 Ad Hoc Committee. The SACD says the committee is trying to control churches. It says that it has taken legal action over what it says is unlawful establishment. Last week, the Section 22 Ad Hoc Committee tabled a draft framework to govern conduct within the Christian community.
There's no special law for the pastors and the special crime or form of crime to the society. Crime is a crime. We are not condoning that. And they furthermore continue to talk about the issues that we as a pastors, we are feeding grass to our members. We are doing this and that. That are the issues that are already sorted. The church has sorted that issues itself. Hence, that if you check those things when it happens, it had happened 10, 15 years back ago. So, which church is currently giving, if you want to talk about the grasses, who is not eating the grass in the current state? No one. Everybody eats the grass. You go to ShopRite, you buy spinach, that is the grass. So, is there a harm on somebody eating the grass? If there is, yes. Who died from being fed the grass?
Let's get more reaction right now. We're joined by Pastor Mpfariseni Mukhuba. She's the chairperson of the South African Church Defenders. Pastor Mukhuba, good to have you on the program this evening. So what is the initial reaction of the South African Church of Defenders to the CRL Rights Commission's launch of this self-regulatory framework? What's your reaction?
Good evening. The reaction of the Church Defenders, SHH Defenders, to the framework is rejecting it. We are saying no to any attempt on regulating the church. We are not supporting this. We are opposing it. The process that were followed, we are saying that is unlawful, and this framework is not needed, is not necessary. In South Africa, we have got enough laws that deal with criminal activities, all the things that are supposed to be covered, which are criminality, financial misconduct, illegal migration. Those things are covered by existing laws, and we have got institutions that are already existing, which are able to deal with such problems. So this, which is proposed now, is unnecessary.
You say it's unnecessary, but the Commission insists that this framework is not about state control, but is about freedom with responsibility, from what they say. Do you believe the church community trusts this kind of assurance, and why?
The church community, we don't trust the assurance that is being given right now, because we can be able to see the desperation. It started in the first term of the CRL chairperson. She started talking about wanting to control churches, wanting to regulate churches. She has been trying to introduce this state regulation, even in her first term. And then she came back seeing the pushback, and she gave it another name. It was said that it was going to be peer review. Now there is another name again. And this is just control in disguise. It is not freedom. It is threatening our freedom of religion. It is threatening what is enshrined in the Constitution.
Yeah, but many churches fear that self-regulation could open the door to a future government interference, if you will. How do you respond to those kind of concerns as the church defenders?
That is true. That is so true that it is like an attempt to put one leg, 1, 2, 3, another one will be in, and 1, 2, 3, then the whole body will be in. Because what comes now as a small document, when it becomes law, soon you are going to be having about 700 pages of contents there. Many things getting introduced. And hence we are saying we are not going to allow the state to regulate matters of faith, callings of people. Spiritual matters are not their domain.
So the statement also acknowledges serious abuses within parts of the Christian sector. Let's speak about this. From your perspective, how significant is this problem, and can self-regulation realistically address it?
Yes, abuses exist, criminality exists, and as the SHH defenders, we don't support any form of criminality. We respect the Constitution, we respect the rule of law, and we have to say it, that there are few who are doing wrong things. And in each and every group of society, there are those who do not abide with the laws of the country. And those who are practicing such things, which are criminality, they should be dealt with the existing laws, like in any other groups of society. Laws exist to handle such abuses. They exist to handle such wrongdoings.
One of the key proposals is the creation of a Christian Practice Council for Ethics and Accountability. Let's speak about this. What are your views on this body and its proposed seal of good standing, from what it's called?
We rejected this body completely. We completely reject it. This is just an introduction of disorder in the church. We want to tamper with a section of society that is orderly and a section of society that is still good, which still have good men and women. We are rejecting this. Faith cannot be approved or certified by anyone. Faith cannot. Matters of faith cannot be certified. And true accountability comes from obeying the law, not a seal. A person can have a seal of good understanding and still do wrong things. A person can still do that. So we are rejecting this. We don't see how this will solve the problems that we have. In our land, we have got too much criminality. We have got people who are doing wrong things. And the problem that we have is the enforcement of laws, not really a lack of laws. And creation of more laws will not solve these problems.
But do you believe this framework will help restore public trust in the church, especially among communities that feel betrayed by past scandals that we've seen?
Let me say that this narrative that is being driven, that the public does not trust the church. There are few people who are not doing right in the church. And yes, we are saying such people should be reported and they should be dealt with. But most people are doing right, and people trust their pastors more than they trust the politicians. Surveys that are done, they show that really people trust their pastors, and that is why people are still going to church. Our churches have got people. This division that is being pushed now between pastors and their congregants is really not fair, because the message that is being driven there is like pastors are delinquents, and we reject that.
So how should churches then operate independently outside major denominations? I mean, how would they engage with this framework without feeling targeted or even excluded?
There is no need for pastors to engage with this framework. Number one, how do you engage with something that you know that is unconstitutional? How do you even promote that? Because by recognizing this Section 22, you are sort of participating in promoting illegality. You are participating in promoting lawlessness. We cannot really support when people are going against the Constitution, when they are trying to take away rights, freedoms that were fought for, freedoms that were attained with sweat and blood, and somebody comes, really, they don't respect their offices, they just want to take away those freedoms. So pastors of independent churches, small churches, independent churches, how can they participate in something even when the Section 22 committee was formed. They were not included. That committee that you see, which is something else in the new democratic South Africa, there is not even a woman there, and these independent churches, small churches, are not represented there. There is no adequate representation, and this is unlawful, which is the reason why the SACD has taken the section, the CRL to court. It is this reason that we are saying this should never happen. The Section 22 committee should never be recognized. It is unlawful.
Right. So this commission also speaks of a national consultation and dialogue process. What role do you believe organizations like the South African Church Defenders should play, especially in shaping the final framework, or you simply won't engage with it any further, like you say?
We won't engage with it because in doing that, we are supporting something that is not supposed to happen. Mind you, they keep on saying that the CRL chairperson speaks of self-regulation, and she says that this was proposed or a recommendation of Parliament. That is not true, because Parliament spoke of voluntary, Portfolio Committee recommended voluntary self-regulation, and anyway, whatever that was proposed then was not adopted by the House. So what she is talking about now is really not the truth. And she is busy pushing this irrespective of it being pointed out that what she's telling people is not the truth. And how can we support such a process where she says it's self-regulation, whereas the very same draft framework document which was presented in clause 2.3, you find there where they are talking about a framework which proposes legislation to establish a state-appointed, state-funded, and state-controlled. It is a state-controlled quasi-judicial body that will have unspecified but broad powers to regulate the religious sector. This really reveals the clear intention that they have to impose a state of regulation of religion. You cannot talk about self-regulation and at the same time you talk about a legislative framework. Once you speak about that, you are talking about state interference into matters of religion, which is a no-no.
As we wrap up our discussion, Pastor Mukhuba, is there a risk that ethical standards could be unevenly applied across different churches? And how can fairness and consistency then be ensured here?
That will be very difficult to can even talk about that there will be fairness, given the fact that right now, even the formation of that Section 22 is like it was just pick and choose. And then we are told that they represent 40-something million Christians, which we are questioning, where is the evidence of that? And you are told about these umbrella bodies that are going to be consulted, spoken to. And then you look at those umbrella bodies that are mentioned right now, they are not representative. And let us talk about even this seal that they talk about. There are small churches that are in dining rooms, there are home cells, there are churches in schools, in different places, who cannot even afford the processes of going to register churches, to do all the submissions that are needed. There is not going to be fairness. That is why we are saying we are not supporting this. What we see is that this process which they want to do now to get this law will just put another financial burden even on the state, on taxpayers, and it will provide another looting ground for corrupt people. You are introducing corruption now inside the church. And we are seeing this global trend right now. It's not like we are blind. It has happened in Angola. It has happened in Rwanda. Now they want to introduce in Kenya. It's like these people are sharing nose and the churches are closed. There are churches that are closed. So this is what is coming now to South Africa, and we can see it. Our eyes are open. How can we even trust that the chairperson of CRL, who says, if you hear from God, you are going to be taken to a psychiatric ward can be fair, can be involved in anything that is fair towards us as Christians.
Pastor Mukhuba, let me thank you for your time. That was Pastor Mukhuba, chairperson of the South African Church Defenders, responding to the CRL Rights Commission's launch of a draft self-regulatory framework for the Christian sector. Now, this framework is now open for national consultation with churches, faith leaders, as well as the public invited to participate in shaping its final form. Now, discussions are expected to continue in the coming months as the country debates accountability, religious freedom, but also speaking to the future of church governance in South Africa.